if you notice something different about me today, you may feast your eyes on this. Long story short, I had a spot on my cheek that I thought was merely an age spot. I'm 54 years old. It's not unusual that you get an age spot, and I paid little or no attention to it. I've had it for about a year. Now, I noticed I've had it longer than a year, but I noticed in the last couple of months that it had been starting to act up. I noticed it being a little bit darker, a little bit larger. It started to tingle every once in a while, like it was doing something. So I went to the dermatologist, and I've always been told, if you have a spot or a freckle or a mole and it changes color or acts suspiciously, go to a dermatologist. And that's what I did. The first week I went there, expecting them to do a little more than just consult, give me a consultation and then, set up an appointment or whatever. That day they numbed me down, put a numbing agent in there, and took a scalpel and cut off what was the spot. They cut that off, and they were going to whisk it away to be go to a lab and get a biopsy done on it. And I was given a bandage and was sent on my merry way and said, call back in about 3 weeks and get your results. So okay, I was thought I was done, more or less done with it. But they called me back in a week, less than a week, and said, we'd like you to come in and talk to you about your results. And what they found out is what was called a melanoma in situ, which is the best kind of melanoma to have if you're going to have one, they keep telling me. So basically they said, this is what happened. We need to cut a hole wider and deeper and take a bigger area out to make sure that we've got all of the infected area out. Okay, when do you want to do that? Well, how's tomorrow for you? Tomorrow for me is fine. So the next day I was back, and they numbed me down real good and proceeded to carve on me like I was a Halloween pumpkin. Laying back in a chair, I could see them working on me a little bit, and it was kind of disconcerting. I was numbed up, but I could feel the tugs as they were, pulling and cutting. So they stitched me back up. I have a wonderful little zigzag arrangement going here. It's sort of like the lightning bolt that Harry Potter has, only mine's 2 or 3 inches lower. It's on my cheek, so I have a little mark of Zorro going on. And we'll see how well that heals, but frankly I'd much rather have a scar than a cancer, so there you go. But at the risk of making this sound like a very special episode of Aztek Dummy, and I don't want to make this necessarily a PSA, but I caught this very, very, very early, they said, and which helped. It means they were able to do it in the office. I didn't have to go to a hospital. I didn't have to. It's just from an expense practicality point of view, cheaper to do it now than to have to go to a specialist in another facility and have to stay longer and all that kind of stuff. So. It was cheaper and better to do it now while I could do it in a day and didn't have to miss any work. Like I said, I have a long Labor Day weekend, so I don't have to worry about going out with my horrible disfigurement in public until Tuesday, and then we'll go from there. They've sent off the second chunk that they took out, and just make sure that they have gotten all of the melanoma, and I've got my fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed, that is the case. But they would like me to come back. This is my really busy season at my day job. We're coming up on fair season, so I told them, September, October is really booked for me. And so they said, well, after you're done, we've got what we need to get right now. But after the fairs are over, please come back. And they want to do a more or less a full head-to-toe inspection to see if there are any other spots that need to get taken care of. God willing, this was it, and this is all that'll have to be done. But as I tell people, people ask me what this is, and they don't want to know. I mean, I tell the people that I really care about the truth, but people don't want to. It's sort of like when they ask you how you feel, and they don't really want to know. They just want to say hi. When they ask me what this is, I've told them, I was cut in a duel with pirates. I've told them that, hey, lightsabers are not toys. I've told them there was a zombie bite. And doctor says if I don't change by the end of the day, I'll be fine. But in all seriousness, kids, if you have a spot out there, if you have a freckle that's not the normal freckle, if you have a mole, if you're the least bit concerned, go get it checked. It's cheap insurance. The time and the cost of one doctor's visit could really make the difference between you taking care of something or catching something early enough that you can take care of it. Without it, becoming a lifestyle, and without it becoming, a hazard that you really have to spend a lot of time and energy on. I mean, dermatologists are there for a reason. They're good people. So if you have something you need to get checked, go get checked. I make no apologies for the pun I'm about to make. Now that I have finished the Cylon Raider, and in light of my recent brush with my melanoma, it has prompted me to do my B9 kit, hoping that, of course, my little bit of skin cancer turns out to be B9.